And so to do it digitizing is it doesn't work. And also the main thing wrong with the microlog is it doesn't work in salt mud. All right, here's again the microlog I'm showing here. It's a 9 electrode on here, and you'll see the thing flares out. This is why it does not work too well as far as it needs to be focused, which is what the microlateral log does. Now here's a comparison. Here's the microlateral log, which is highly focused, and the 3 over here on the microlog, 9 on the micro. I think I reversed it a minute ago. The 9 on the microlog, and in order to get the focusing, the 3 on the microlog here. Much better in salt mud country. This is more in the fresh mud country. Here's just a configuration of the microlog. Again, again, as you all know, they have the springs on it. It must go up against the formation. Here's a microlog chart for you I won't spend the time, but you can use that to analyze it with. A lot of in the old days, they did not, in the header, they did not give you the RMC, RMF. So you had to come up with it some other way. So this was put out by Schlumberger many, many years ago, and it will give you the RMC, RMF pretty close. They later on, over the last some years, now they put it on there all the time. So you covered it. This is a sore point with me somewhat. Again, the thinking is that in resistivity tools, that again, you have a lot of invasion. Yes, invasion is very important. There's no question about it. It's very important. But again, this is just showing you the wellbore. Here's the RMF, the med filtrate. Here's the RW and oil. So you can see right in through here there is an invasion factor. So it affects your numbers. And it does affect the resistivity, no question. Is it significant? That's a good question. Here's another one. Again, this is the annulus that I think Richard talked about this morning. Here's again. So this is the zone that is tough to come up with a correct RT. The focused, like I say, this was the greatest breakthrough as far as logging in Kansas, Williston Basin, and many. Again, the focus tool. It's, like you say, the tool is focused in the way it's set up so that you can read a pretty good RT on it. And again, the secret to me as far as breaking or worrying about the invasion is to use the right log. If you use the right log, the salt mud log where you should run it, and the fresh log will say the induction where you should, it's minimized. But it's important. I don't argue with it. I mean, John and I, we go round and round on this. But it's not, and I will show some examples that it really doesn't affect that much. Here again is showing the illustration of, this would be the focused. Obviously, this doesn't happen per se. This is what the would be in the focus. This would be on the unfocused, we'll say. This is giving an illustration as far as the difference. Again, here's the lateral with that, again, 18 feet, 8 inches. Would read not very much out here, really. Would be, RT would be very small. Here would be the true resistivity is truly out in this distance. And so it does make a difference, but again, run the right log and depends on the thickness of the formation and the resistivity. Okay, oop, did I? Let's see, I'll have to, I thought I'd seen that before. The lateral log 7. There are two lateral logs, the lateral log 7 and the lateral log 3, introduced in 1949. If you're familiar with the Halliburton, which is they call the guard log, which I'll show in a minute, the guard log is equal to the lateral log 3. And again, it's the spacing of the electrodes. Again, these are the 7 is obviously 7 electrodes in 3 pairs arranged symmetrically. Normal spacing is about 32 inches on this particular one. Remember, the others were 16, 64, and then the 18-foot. Here again is as far as the lateral log, again, the 32-inch. Trying to keep within my time. Again, the diameter, this is one of my points, is the diameter of the invasion. And yes, invasion is important. I mean, I don't deny it, but I don't think it's that critical. But again, remember, to do a log analysis, you're going to have to guess. And how do you determine what the diameter of invasion is? So in a sense, you're putting an unknown in there before you make the calculation and make your calculations. So it's again, like I said, the best results when the RXO is less than RT, and RT is over 50 times more than the mud. Use the right log. Lateral log 3 is 49. Now this is what is called, the Halliburton runs this. This would be the rag log, which a lot of people think is a very poor log. And really, it's not that bad a log. It's not as good maybe as some of the new ones, but it is a very good log. But it gets a lot of question marks, let's say, as far as the 12 spades, 24-inch and 12-inch depth of invasion is very important. This is some more on the guard log. This is one of the guard logs that it was run. Work is done by Hilche. It's in your book. Again, here's again the micro ladder log, and here is the ladder log. One thing I don't think has been mentioned, remember the micro ladder log is a measurement of RXO. And again, and how do you measure that? You can either do it with a micro ladder log or you can do it with a proximity log. But it's a very good tool as far as reservoir calculating. You can do the porosity of it, but it's also, because it does RXO, it's a very good log. Here's again the 7. This gives the 20. See, it's not that much difference at 20 inches diameter of invasion. Now it can get to be a pretty good big number as it goes up higher. Trying to hustle along a little bit. Okay. When you calculate the micro ladder log, it's a good porosity tool, but the one opening in that you have trouble with is the residual oil saturation. And I will show a graph here in just a second that was proposed to me by a Halliburton man 50 years ago, which is a way of calculating the ROS, which is very good. And once, as you can look in the equations, the ROS is a very important thing. It's no doubt about it. Again, you draw a line from this point. I'll take this particular graph in the chart book. Again, what it says is in low porosities, you're probably going to have a high ROS. In real good porosities, you're going to have probably a lesser. And so he drew a line here. This is held up with me in the Williston Basin in thousands of wells, thousands, and in Kansas as well. But it's a way of solving the ROS rather than just guessing what the residual oil saturation is. Induction or ladder log. Again, remember, use the induction if RMF is less than 2.5. Use the ladder log if the RMF over RW is more than 2.5. Again, we've covered that before. Oh, how are we doing, John? I'm running a little long. I'm sorry. Let me show you here's, Richard talked about this movable oil. This is a beautiful example out of the Glick Robbins Ranch in the Glick Field in the Mississippian. Here is the water by doing the movable oil. Here is the movable oil is in the green. Here is the red is the, we'll say, not movable, is not the movable oil. What a beautiful thing to be able to tell out there on the rig floor, right when you drill the well. If you run the proximity or the lateral log to measure the RS, you can come up with this. Beautiful log.